My name is Valentina Pease, and today I'm going to be talking about the book An Abundance of Katherines by John Green. This book is about a boy called Colin Singleton. He is a child prodigy. This means that when a person under the age of 10 is able to process things that an adult will do, so it's an extremely smart person. But he has graduated. In this story, he has already graduated from high school, which means that he's no longer a child prodigy. His main conflict is that he is disturbed by the fact that he used to be a child prodigy, and his goal is to maybe become a genius. He wants to be a genius, he's desperate to be a genius, and it's basically about his longing to be noticed by the world, to be noticed for his wits and for something that maybe he has created, just like many of the geniuses that he knows and we know nowadays. In the book, Colin had just been dumped by his 19th girlfriend, Katherine. Now, just like every other person, Colin has a type in girls. So his girl type is girls whose name is Katherine. He has only ever dated girls named Katherine, and as I explained before, he has dated 19 people, so 19 Katherines. So when he is dumped, when Katherine breaks up with him, he is so distraught that his friend Hazan, his only friend, his best friend Hazan, suggests that they go on a road trip. So in the road trip, they discover a small town called Gutshot, where they meet Lindsay Lee Wells. Lindsay Lee Wells is the daughter of the owner of the factory, a factory that creates tampon strings. Now, the factory in Gutshot is the main economic resource, and so Lindsay Lee Wells and her mother Hollis are extremely rich. Hollis kind of takes Hazan and Colin under her wing and gives them a job as interviewers. So Colin, Hazan, and Lindsay have to interview the residents or the population of Gutshot, which is very small, and about Gutshot. So it's four questions. Where would they live if they weren't in Gutshot? And how they ended up in Gutshot, etc., and everything related to that. Basically, throughout the whole story, Colin tries to create something that will get him noticed by the world. And he does this by creating a theorem. A theorem is kind of like a theory. And a theory on dumpies and dumpers. Dumpers being the people, the girlfriend or boyfriend, who dumps their girlfriend or boyfriend. The dumpies being the one who is being dumped. In this theorem, but the goal of this theorem is for Colin to be able to then predict via many different characteristics of the people, and predict who will be the dumper and who will be the dumpy, depending on also previous relationships and stuff like that. And basically the story is evolved around this and his life in Gutshot, because he stays in Gutshot with his friend Hazan and Lindsay and Hollis, and it's about this and how he tries to recover from Katherine 19. So what I did for the Booktube is I created what I thought could be another option for the cover of the book. I'll explain this after I explain the original cover. So in this original cover, you can see some symbols. and they are all related to the story. For example, they have a meaning in the story that at first, by looking at the cover, you might not know, but when reading the story, it is very visible as to which is which. So the first one is a light bulb. So as I said before, Colin is extremely smart. He is on the verge of being a genius. And basically, the light bulb is worldwide known as a symbol for an idea. And it basically just represents how Colin, throughout the story, does get this idea of creating a theorem. And yeah. Then there's a Venn diagram. Basically, Colin enjoys doing graphs and Venn diagrams and stuff, and in the story he does do a Venn diagram to, like, it's the first gram to represent dumpers or dumpies. The third symbol is this, which you might see on a highway, and it just represents the road trip that they make, and the road trip is very important because it gets them to Gutshot, and I don't want to spoil anything, but if it hadn't been for that road trip, Colin wouldn't have been able to create the theorem, and he wouldn't be able to do a lot of things that he is able to do at the end of the book. The heart, which is always represents love, and it's basically, this whole book is kind of surrounded on love, because even though apart from the theorem is Colin's theorem is about love, and basically it does surround Colin's love life and Hazen's love life. The last one is this diagram, this graph, that's the graph that he uses to separate the dumpers from the dumpies and maybe see how the results will be. In the book, it explains it in many different ways because it's the joining of many characteristics, but part of it is that the higher part would be if, for example, one of the characteristics that he uses is looks. So if the girl would be G, and boy would be B. If the girl is more attractive, it would be above the line, and if the boy is more attractive, it would be below. And basically surrounds that. And my new cover, I put The Abundance of Katherines, and I tried to draw Colin. In the book, this is the description that he has in the book. He wears glasses, he has black kind of curly hair. I drew him with his eyes closed, but in the book he has green eyes. And basically what he is, he enjoys thinking about love and the theorem. So he is thinking about this, the theorem and love. And I put a K to symbolize Katherine. And yeah, that's my Booktube. Thank you for listening.